Alright, y'all, welcome to A Musician's Perspective, where we talk about life from a musician's perspective. Haha, bitches, remember the old intro.
Fuck win, though.
Anyways, today we're going to be talking about how to not be useless at load-in. I'm looking at you, singers. So today, I just wanted to break down some basic components of every instrument, including drums, guitar, bass, keys, and PAs. I know there's a lot more than that, but those are the easy ones. So let's start with drums. This is the bane of every musician. Every single musician that's not a drummer, that is. This instrument seems incredibly daunting whenever you're not an actual drummer. So let me just start with everything that your drummer is okay with you setting up is probably not accessible via a drum key. These are drum keys. They adjust things like tuning, blah, blah, blah. If you see a screw that looks like this, there is a good chance that you should not touch it, that you should leave it alone. Everything that you can set up and that your drummer would be happy for you to set up will probably be something that you can twist. For example, the angle of the legs on the bottom. They'll adjust them themselves, but in case you're setting up, go ahead and twist those things open and then open them up for him or for them. Gotta be non-sexist here. Everything that you should do should be accessible via something that you can actually twist with your fingers, not anything that you would need a drum key for. Feel free to go ahead and put everything in the right place and set them up to about the right height. Of course, your drummer will adjust later for discrepancies for their own preference, but for now, while you're helping set up, just lay everything out as logically as possible. Most drummers will prefer something to the lines of having a kick, a snare, hi-hat, maybe a couple of cymbals, ride cymbal to the right, and a couple of toms, 2 or 3, and orient them high to low. Drummers are the people that suffer the most during transition and load-in. So now for guitar, bass, and keys. For guitar players and bass players, they use TS cables, TS 1/4 inch cables specifically. So those cables only have a tip and a sleeve. Now normally the setup is whatever instrument they're playing, keyboard, guitar, bass, into their pedal board, if they have one, and then into their amplifier, if they have one. That amplifier can either have a direct out, which goes to the PA system, or they'll have another line out, which goes to a DI box, and that'll also go to the PA system, or they'll be mic'd up in the case of many guitar players. This is a very basic setup, but that is how it tends to go. Guitar players who have pedal boards will probably need power to the front of the stage. So if you have nothing to do, go ahead and try to see if you can get power to the front of the stage. That'll help them out a lot. And now lastly, we move on to PA systems. So the basic idea is a PA system is a set of speakers that amplify anything that you could ever dream of. It's mainly used for things like vocals or electronic instruments. So the basic signal flow is that you have the thing that you want amplified and you have a mixing board. You send the signal to the mixing board and then that outputs to something called an amplifier. This amplifier turns the signal into something that the speakers can understand. So it gives power to the speakers. Or if they're powered speakers, then they don't need it. But in most cases, if you're in a smaller band, you'll probably have something similar to this, where the amplifier and the mixer are one thing. This allows you to take a signal, shove it directly into the mixing console, and then have it directly output to the speakers with no amplifier. There is an amplifier, it's just attached to the speaker head. And if you understand those basic principles, you can get through 90% of what you need to set up. Anyways, that was a very short, sweet video about how you could potentially help out your bandmates when you're setting up. Have a good one.